Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you realize how lucky we are when we have Tin up here. The energy before and after he leaves this place is totally different. And even so, he's like the low profile type of person, but every time he comes here, he changes everything. Thanks a lot, my friend. Thanks a lot. Today we're going to talk about something that we take for granted. Mostly as we take for granted to say thank you. Because we are used to, when we do something wrong, out of our education politeness, say thank or say excuse or say thank you. And then we don't put too much thought on that. We just do it as a habit, as a repetition. Prayer goes the same way. It's like, oh, everything is happening. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to pray for you. Oh, I'm going to pray for that. I'm going to pray for myself. Everything is wrong. I'm going to pray. So it feels like we don't realize the real power of prayer. Prayer has a huge power when we do it right. We don't need to recite things that are written and we need to memorize by heart and then repeat it. The best prayer comes from the heart. The best prayer is just you talking to God. The way you know how to talk. You don't need to go like, trying to get the best words. No, be simple. Put emotion. That's the prayer that goes up and it's listened. So today we're going to talk a lot about the power of prayer and some strategies to really try to be efficient in our prayers, because sometimes we just think in prayer is about needing something, asking something. And some prayers are really good when we thank for something, when we are happy for something. And so we're going to see some of them, shall we? In his first book, question 663, Kardec asked the spirits, can we by praying for ourselves avert our trials or change their nature? What you think about it? Any thoughts? Yes, no, maybe? No? No? Okay.
It'll help you go through the trials.
Exactly. Your trials are in the hands of God. And there are some of them that must be undergone to the very end. But God always takes account of the resignation with which they're born. Prayer brings good spirits to you, to your side, giving you the strength to endure your trials courageously. Exactly what you said. Exactly that. Remember, we are souls incarnated. We are spirits incarnated. Spirits is nothing more than energy. Words are energy. Thoughts are energy. Actions are energy. Prayers are energy. How come bad spirits and good spirits communicate to us? By the same frequency. So if you are getting this kind of suggestions as thoughts, or even hearing some voices in your head, a prayer can do a lot. Can go far away because you just change the frequency when you pray. And then there's no more communication. There's no more suggestions. There's no more contact. Frequencies, different frequencies, there is no way for you be susceptible to get some influence. But we don't see that in prayer. We just think that it's, we're going to pray. So let's not take for granted something that is the best tool that we have. The form is worthless. The thoughts in the prayer is everything. The most important thing that prayer springs from the soul, from the deepest intimacy of the one who prays, and with the thought turned exclusively to the act of praying. So it doesn't matter how you pray. It matters that you pray. Whatever you ask for in a prayer, believe and you have received it, and it will be yours. That it's a sentence that leads to a lot of misunderstanding. I've been praying for such a long time to win the lotto, and so far nothing. Well, you're praying for maybe the wrong goal. You can pray for wealth, and wealth can have a lot of different aspects and meanings and forms. So if you go straight to something that was said as a metaphor, it won't work. And even so, there's people that say, well, why should I pray? If God is so knowledgeable, if God's wisdom is so huge, He knows what I need. So I don't need to pray. Because He knows me. So everything's good. Thoughts or ideas or goals or dreams without action is just a nightmare. You can have the best goal. If you sit and wait for that to happen and do nothing, sorry, is the one that is asking for win the lottery and never play, not even a scratch and play. It's just waiting. I used to do some speeches outside the U.S., and some of them, we had some tickets to come here and do some seminars with us. And in a room full of 500 people that knew that this will happen, this raffle will happen, maybe 30 out of 500 had the visa to come to U.S. So you're hoping to do something, but you do nothing to get it. It's the same as a prayer. Oh, I want to get $1 million. Please give me $1 million. Nothing will happen. It's the blind faith. The blind faith won't take us anywhere. The rational faith, the faith that you can understand and work with, is the one that will endure, is the one that will make our prayers to be heard. It is through the prayer that man obtains the assistance of the good spirits who come running to sustain him in his good resolution and inspire wholesome ideas. He can also turn away from himself all the evil which he attracts through his faults and thoughts and wrongdoings and things that we say. So, understand this. The high spirits, they are really polite. If we don't call them, they won't come. They have one too many things to do. And the way that we call them is to pray. So you want your mentor, your guard angel person, if you want, to come to you, call him. All the other spirits are all around us, but this one's, you need to call. You need to say, hey, I need you here. Can you help me with that? It's energy. You send energy and energy comes back. In terms of energy, in terms of the power of prayer, we have a living proof right here, which is Valdo. He describes, and correct me if I'm wrong, Valdo, that prayer, he felt like bubbles, warm bubbles, like a balm. When he was in the other state, he was on the almost dead experience, and he was feeling all the prayers coming through him and giving him some hope, some peace, while he was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? That enough should be like, okay, I rest my case, Your Honor. But let's be a little bit more rational and understand what can we do to maximize the prayer, and what can we do to really understand that in every single case, praying, it's something that is helpful. Because if we take it for granted, we won't do it. And if we do it like a habit. We do it like mechanic. And mechanic, it won't work. You don't put energy, you don't put emotion, it won't work. When I thought it's direct at someone, either on earth or in space, from incarnate to a discarnate being, or vice versa, a fluidic current is established between them, which transmits their thought from one to the other. Just the air transmits the sound. The energy contained in this current remains proportional to the force behind the thought and the desire. Praying is a very important act of connecting with the higher planes. Unfortunately, it is not yet fully understood by us. Even people who have the greater clarification regarding the action of the magnetic fluids and spiritual protection take prayer for granted sometimes. Man in general only sees the present. So it's really hard for us to understand when we pray for our moral soul. Let me correct, because Adriana said that last week. Immortal. I'm not saying immoral. So it's hard because we don't know what's going on, what's happened. Okay, I'm pretty sure that I came from someplace or some incarnation prior, and I'm gonna get some other ones. And the spiritual realm is real, but I never saw that. At least my rational never saw that. So it's hard for me that I'm seeing matter to understand that I'm going to pray for my immortal soul. If I don't know what's happening there, not that I do want it. I'm happy to be alive. I'm not shortening it up, getting any shortcuts to know what's happening in the other side. But it's hard for us to understand the principle behind the prayer. This is how the spirits hear the prayers direct to them, whatever they may be. It is also how the spirits communicate amongst themselves, how they transmit their inspirations to us, and how to contact and establish at a distance between incarnates. I don't know if you realize so far, I'm just using the Spiritist book and the Gospel according to Spiritism. Why? Because those are the best references that we have. This is the codification, and this is what we believe. Spirit's book, Thought and Will, represent in us a power of action that reaches far beyond the limits of our bodily sphere. Strictly speaking, electricity is dynamic energy, magnetism is static energy, and thought is electromagnetic force. It has a lot of power. It goes through miles and miles, and we don't even know. It crosses the globe and comes back to us. So that we normally say, measure what you say, right? Listen twice, cut once, say it once, because once it gets out of your mouth, it's not yours, and if it's damaged words, damage is done. And then all you can do is pray for a better outcome. But then it's something like you don't believe because you are feeling guilty. So how can we be effective in our prayer? First of all, believe that it works. Please believe that prayer works. Otherwise, again, you're going to pray in vain. You're going to say words, beautiful words sometimes, for nothing. Because you don't put any energy on it. Your thoughts sometimes is more powerful than your words. And that's why they say pray to yourself, pray in a closet, or if you cannot find a way to prayer, to go to a closet, go to a secluded place and do it that. This is an image. It's jump to inside yourself. See what's going on. Feel the pain. Understand what's happening. And then pray. So, in that sense, another misspell or misconstructed sentence that we say, what is right? Seek or pay attention and pray, or pray and pay attention? What comes first? Be aware of things and then pray, or pray and be aware of things? What comes first? Please don't talk everybody at the same time because I cannot hear you.
The chicken.
The chicken comes first, not the egg. Okay. Later on, you have to explain that to me, but that's okay. We're gonna solve this mystery. Some slides ahead. For our spirits, prayer has special characteristics in addition to ordinary medication developed by science. Magnetism shows us the power of fluid action, and Spiritism reveals another powerful force in healing mediumship and the influence of prayer. So, my friends, when you get inside that room and you're thinking about what you're going to eat when you get out of here, please, please, help the pasistas, help us to help you. Stay in the same frequency, stay in the same vibration. And if you cannot do that, guess what? Pray. Pray. Just that. Magnify the power of the passes. Help yourself to get this information, to get this energy. Because if your brain is somewhere else and the energy is low, how can I give you more energy? How can I give you some energy that will really help you? We will try our best, but that's two in this equation. It's not just one. So even there, prayer is very effective. The mind is a source of healing or destructive energy. Don't we know that? Don't we know that because of this beautiful lockdown that we've been for 8 months so far? First we freak out, then we deny, then we got rage against it, then we got depressed, then we bargain, and now we're kind of accepting it. And this is the morning curve of Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, who works with people that was near to death for a lot of time. And she developed this curve of acceptance or mourning per se. So that's what we've been doing. And how many stages of getting crazy we've been through this journey? That's the power of not controlling our brain, our thoughts. That's the power of not believing in that sometimes if you cannot control yourself, you always can pray. And you always can change the energy. And by changing the energy, you're not inviting some uninvited guests to come closer to you and give you some suggestions that are not helpful at all in the situation that we are for 8 months. Thought produces a kind of physical effect that reacts on morals. That is only what Spiritism could make us understand. It is thought that gives healing quality to fluids, which exist in a natural state around us. Kardec said that in the Genesis book. If we pray, we probably have a thought. We're probably talking about something. This is a thought. Again, everything can be a prayer. It's just a matter of how to do it, when to do it. That's the only thing that you can do a lot. There is no counter prescription to that. You always can do, you always can pray, you always can use that to your advantage. That sometimes, and I recognize being there as well, that it's really hard to pray. Then you have to use some other tools. But understand, this is the best tool, free, that we have, and we can use it. The value of prayer. The Spirit Joannis, Raul Teixeira was the one that received the message from Spirit Joannis, said that the vibration of the mind that now has the power to illuminate consciences, to clarify discernments, bring solutions to various problems or difficult appearances. The vibration of the mind now has the power. Now, why now? Why now? Because now we know more than we knew 2,000 years ago. 2,000 years ago, Jesus had to talk to us in parables because we were kind of crude, kind of not educated per se, to understand what, if he's going to start talking about this immortal soul, the spirit, 2,000 years ago, 2,020 years ago, my goal was like, get out, do my job, get food, maybe get some money, and go back. And tomorrow repeat the same thing. Oh, sorry, maybe we're talking about now today, right? Maybe we're doing the same 2,000 years after. Yeah, that's something to think. Now that we have wisdom, now that we have the third revelation, now that we have a way to understand things better, we have the power to heal ourselves, to find the better way to go through the problems, to go through the tests that life throws on us. And many times we do throw on us as well. Prayer is of enormous importance and inestimable value. Prayer, to achieve best result, must be followed by action, attitude, desire to positively change our behavior, our posture, and composure. The sincere desire to do better each day, even if little by little, but in continuous and permanent way. Even if it's little by little, because we believe that, and we've been having this talk in the last three weeks of the fraternal counseling. We've been getting just ourselves, the workers, and we've been debating this because sometimes it seems like when you get the Spirit doctrine and the words from the spirits, it seems that we are right here, and they're talking about behaviors that are right there, which is kind of hard to match. But they are not saying that we need to be perfect. They're just giving us the image of perfection, something to go through. But right there, little by little. Do not try to take everything in hand. You're going to burn out. You're not going to be able to do it. But one thing you need to do. Again, I talk about the guys that want to get $1 million and don't even buy the ticket, the lotto ticket. You have to have the attitude. You have to go and do it. Jesus didn't say, are you seeing that wave over there? Yeah, the one that's big. Yeah, go there, throw the net, you're going to get a lot of fish. He was the first one to jump in the boat. So he teaches by actions. And then he let the other ones do it. If he's still working and leading by action, why are we not doing something? What are we waiting for? Especially for praying. What are we waiting for? We don't understand the power of it? We do. So let's try to do a little better every day and little by little. Once one known from Mother Teresa come to her and say, "Sister, I, I feel powerless. I feel that my efforts are not enough to help this million people that are around us. What can you say? What can I do?" She said, "My son, my daughter, you are one drop in the ocean. But if I take all the drops from the ocean, there won't be any ocean anymore." What she is saying is that don't look around for what the others are doing. Do it yourself. What you can do is what you can do, not what the other one can do. So just go every day, little by little, getting better, using the prayer to go one step further, go one step higher every day. And if you can go back home and lay down and say, "Yes, today was a good day," fantastic. Isn't that fantastic? Isn't that a fantastic feeling? Every day we can do that. Maybe some days we're going to miss, but can it be our goal? And can we use all the tools possible for that? Prayer is one of them. Prayer does not exempt us for our trials. In the force of the test, pray, devising ways to turn into a beneficial experience. Why? He say what to do and why you're doing that. In the face of Henry, pray, developing a service that undoes it. In the force of ignorance, pray, turning on a light that will dispel the shadow. Oh, this is a metaphor, right? No, it's not. I just said that spirits comes to us because of our energy. So, the frequency of our energy. If you pray, you dispel the bad energy or whatever energy is holding you back because you change the energy. There's no connection anymore. In the face of illness, pray, looking for medication that will keep your losses away. Let's understand this one a little better. We can pray a lot for people to get healed, to get better, but if that's their time, that's their time. And it doesn't mean that our prayer didn't help them just because. Chico Xavier, when his brother died, his father looked at him and say, "You pray, you do so much for everyone. You couldn't do that for your brother?" And that's the general understanding. If I do something, if I have all the, faith and energy, and somebody gets sick or die, then I don't believe in prayer anymore. Because I did all I could. Yes, you did all you could. Keep praying, because in the discarnated life, he will need a lot of your prayers as well. Keep praying. Sometimes it's all we can do. Sometimes there's nothing more than we can do. If somebody don't want your help, and you've been offering help, what can you do? Think about it. Because if you keep offering help, you're going to get a fight. You're going to get angry and say, "I don't know why I keep trying to help you." And the other person will say, "I didn't ever ask you." So this hurts more than a slap in your face. Been there and done that. Why? If there's nothing to be done now, and that's the meaning of "so be it." If nothing can be done now, so be it. But I always can pray. And let me tell you something really quick. I worked for Disney for 10 years. And one of the jobs that I had was a photographer. And sometime in the second year at Epcot, you really could call me an African American. because I didn't receive one assignment that was not under the sun. And I know that the sun here, it's hard. So I didn't even notice that the color of my skin, it was all burned. And I was like, why that happens? Because every time I got to the base where we work, where we get our equipment and get out, I was cursing the coordinator because he was the one giving the assignments and telling that this is the machine. It's a random assignment. Random assignment in 2 years, I got all the worst spots. Or I'm a very unlucky person, or there's something wrong with this random assignment. And then somehow, some friend of mine in Morocco told me a word in Arabic. Wassalam walaikum. May the peace lie over you. I couldn't say that in Portuguese. I couldn't say that in English. And he was German. I don't know if I could say that in German, but I don't know how to do it. But in Arabic, it feels like joyful. So every day in the next week, I got to the base and say, Wassalamu alaikum. And guess what? I start getting inside assignments. Is this some rando act or something? No, it's energy. People feels energy. Prayer is energy. So why not? In the face of disaster, pray, taking actions to cancel its effects. Again, all gave us a lecture and made me think a lot about the suffering part. Because I always say that pain is necessary, suffering is optional. But suffering the way that he put, sometimes we go through suffering, and that's the way it is. But if you pray and you believe in your praying, you are taking actions to heal this suffering, to heal this feeling. And that will happen eventually, but you have to keep doing, you have to keep believing. In the face of difficulty, pray, taking advantage of the lessons of obstacles in order to avoid them in the future. Be aware and pray. Because if you see the obstacle and right now you cannot do anything about this, pray. Next time it pops in front of you, you say, hey, I know you. And now probably I know how to get around and not get that hard or contaminated by that as I was in the beginning. In the face of suffering, pray, building paths of proper liberation. In the face of discord, pray, building the resources for establishment of peace. Always pray, but act more and more so the best is accomplished. Pray, but act. Don't wait. Pray, but act. The Lord say, watch and pray that we will not enter into temptation. Above all, they watch and pray those who actively strive for the good that we have to do in everything. So what we need to watch for? The opportunities to do good. The opportunities to be better. That is this little anecdote that the priest or the father from the church got a warning that the village it's about to be flooded. And he said, I'm not going to leave the church. God's going to save me. Water got to the second floor, and all the guys with the big trucks passed by say, Father, please, let's get out of here. He said, no. God's going to save me. Water got to the third floor, and now the boats just came. Father, please get out of there. No, God is going to save me. I have faith. He got to the bell, and then helicopters come. Father, please, you're going to die. No, God is going to save me. Well, long story short, he was right in front of God. And he asked, God, why didn't you save me? And God responded, I tried 4 times. Right? 4 times I tried to save you. What you said? God is going to save me. No, you have to help. If you don't do anything, God cannot do by himself. Sometimes that's how we feel. God is going to save me. Some miracle is going to happen. No, we are the miracle. We are the ones who can do things. We are the ones that can change things. So let's do it. And to end our conversation, I have this little video. Everything plus we saw there, we can get through prayer. I was one of this kind of person that didn't pray before the meals. Not saying that we need, not saying that we must, but I'm just telling you that after I start praying, before I start eating, it feels a lot better. Don't ask me why. It just feels better. It's just because I acknowledge that I have all this food. And I thank God for the food. And I thank, you know, the resources that I have. So it makes me feel, even if I'm going to eat something that I don't like. And nowadays I'm happy to say that I like broccoli. But even if I eat something that I don't like too much, by thanking God, by being, honestly happy to have food, that changes a lot. So if that can do that to food, what can we do when we pray? Thank you.